Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining on this another live stream today. So this is the 18th of April and this is on Sunday. So every Sundays I do the weekly Forex forecast. So we're gonna cover some of the major pairs and also indexes and also commodity, gold and crude oil I will cover, and then I will talk about the some of the fundamental news for next week. So let's get started. So before starting here, just a quick disclaimer. This information is based on my own understanding, experience, knowledge. So when you take trades, please do with your own risk management. So let me quickly say hi to everyone here. Oh, Bap, thank you for joining the Ichimoku community here. So make sure to have access and Discord through this website here. You can, once you join the Ichimoku community, then please click this one, click here to join Ichimoku Discord. And once you click it, then there's a pop-up and there should be an button here to join. Let's see, yeah, there you go. So you can click on accept invite and you can be in the Discord, and then you can have all the perks in the Ichimoku community. But once again, thank you Bap for joining, and I wish you great success on your Ichimoku journey. Stay gold, thank you for joining. And let's see, Karim, thank you for joining, number 9, good to see you here. And Danny, good to see you too from Indonesia. And James, good to see you too. Tommy Lee, thank you for joining from Singapore, good to see you. Asif, thank you for joining as well, good to see you again. And Jay, thank you for joining from London, good to see you. Adam and Christopher, thank you for joining as well, great to see everyone. So let's go to the Forex pairs first. I will cover the Forex pairs. These are the pairs on my watch list. So let's go over the weekly time frame. So every weekend and on Monday I check weekly charts every day end, and new day I check daily charts. Every month end and new month I check the monthly charts. So that's why I cover the weekly charts for these forecasts every week, so that we can expect what can happen in the market, and we can capture the bigger picture of the market by the weekly time frame. So let's get started. Well, and Katerina, Pinzar, Radko, and Than, and Dialan, thank you for joining as well, good to see you. So Euro, dollar, and weekly chart. This is ranging. Simply Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat. So it's ranging. For the last 2 weeks has been bullish, but still this is exactly on the Kijun Sen. So it can go up and down and we don't know which way it's going. So there is no clue as to which way the market goes on the weekly basis. So let's move on to Euro AUD. Alright, Euro AUD looks to be also ranging too, because the Kijun Sen flat. But this is bearish because the Kumo has been sloping down. This way, price is below the Kijun Sen Kumo and Chikou span below the candles. So this is still bearish on the weekly chart. So the market might be resisted twice here and it can go down next week. So that's the Euro AUD pair. And also Euro Pound is also bearish at the moment. We have the Kumo sloping down this way. Senkou span is down, and also Kijun Sen flat, but the Chikou span below the candles, and Kijun Sen flat, but the price is below the Kijun Sen and the Kumo here. So this is still bearish. So 2 weeks backwards, it was a strong bullish trend, and now the price is at the top of the previous high here on the weekly candle. So the market might consolidate for a while for the next few weeks like this, but overall this is bearish. So later on I expect the market breaks the support of this 0.84 1.68 level. But until it breaks, this is still ranging in the weekly chart, so we cannot have any confirmations. I mean, it can go up. In this case, it can go up to Kijun-sen. So whether the market breaks the previous resistance at this 0.87166 level or not is the key. If it breaks above, then it can go backwards to Kijun-sen. But if it breaks the support level, then it can go down. Until then, we might have some range market. We might have some engulfing candles along the way in the future. So this is that's Euro Pound. So I will cover the Euro pairs first and then move on to USD pairs. So next one is the Euro JPY. Okay, Euro JPY is also bullish. This is bullish on the weekly chart simply because the Kumo's up. After the Kumo twist here, the Kumo has been going up and it's gaining thickness. It's gaining thickness, meaning that this is a stable uptrend. So we can expect the market breaks the previous resistance level at this 130.69 level, and it can break upwards next week. The Kijun-sen flat, but the Tenkan-sen up right now, and Chikou span above the candles, so this is still bullish. So that's Euro JPY, and moving on to Euro CAD. Euro CAD is now more of the flat side because the Kumo is, this is bearish Kumo, but the Kumo itself is a bit too tiny, and this bearish Kumo has been covered the previous bullish Kumo. It's been covered by the previous bullish Kumo, so this is like engulfing a Kumo, so to speak. So this is still ranging. I don't see the strong downtrend yet in the market. And the Kijun-sen flat, and this is in the Kumo here, so this is still ranging, still flat ranging, retracing. But the price itself is below the Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen, Kumo, and Chikou span below the candles. So this is bearish. But once again, because the Kumo is still engulfed by the previous Kumo here, so the market might retrace backwards to Senko span B or Kijun-sen. So this is still retracing, so we cannot follow the weekly time frame. And let's move on to the Euro Swiss franc. Euro Swiss franc is now flat also. Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat. So this is ranging, retracing backwards. And if you find these candlesticks, we have too many wicks pointing up and downwards. And if I see these wicks, long wicks pointing up and downwards on the weekly or daily charts, then I would prefer to away from the pair because this is too volatile and I may get stop losses in lower time frames. So I think it's consolidating, retracing backwards with these wicks. We better avoid on the weekly basis. And let's cover the USD pairs. So USD JPY, this is more of the bullish side because the price is above Tenkan Kijun Kumo here, and Kumo here is a bullish Kumo. The Senko span A is pointing upwards and Chikou span above the candles. So in the long term, it can go up on the N wave like this, but right now for the recent 2 candles, 2 weeks, the market has been bearish. So I'm not sure how far the market retraces backwards. It might retrace backwards all the way to Kijun-sen because the Kumo is still too tiny. So this is not really reliable. So like in the past here, we had the Kumo formation like this, where the exactly after the twist, the Senko span B continued to be flat and Senko span A up like this. And in this case, it can be fake and it goes backwards this way. So in that sense, this short and tiny Kumo can be also the fake signal, and we have the resistances here on this 112.24 or the at this 111.69 level. The market might reach to that level, but it can retrace backwards because of this tiny Kumo here. Or from next week, continuously the market might retrace backwards. So in that case, you cannot follow the weekly chart, so you have to shift it to daily or forward chart to follow the downtrend if that happens. So let's check the USD Swiss franc. This is ranging now. The Kumo flat, Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen flat. The price is in between the Kijun Sen and the Kumo. Chikou span is still too close with the candles, so this is still ranging. So it can go up and down, and we don't know which way it's going. So we better avoid this USD Swiss franc on the weekly basis. There is no clue on this one. So the next one is USD CAD, dollar CAD. This is bearish because the Kumo, after the Kumo twist, it's been quite long and stable and thick Kumo. And Senko span is pointing downwards. This is a very nice and thick Kumo here. So this means that this is a stable downtrend for the last more than 52 candles. This is bearish. And also the Kijun Sen flat, but the Tenkan Sen points downwards, and Chikou span below the candles. So this is bearish. And one more thing about this one that is important is that the market has been resisted by this Tenkan Sen for a few weeks now. The price is almost all the time, the close is below the Tenkan Sen. For the recent 3 weeks, let me enlarge the picture. For the recent 3 weeks, we can clearly see that the market has been resisted by the Tenkan Sen on the weekly chart. So next week, it might retest the Tenkan Sen, but in the long term, it can go down bearish. So in the lower time frame, you better look for the sell chance and buy chance on this particular pair. So that's dollar CAD. So let's move on to some pound pairs. Pound dollar on the weekly chart, this is now more the flat side because the Kumo itself flat and Kijun Sen flat. So the market is retracing backwards. And also this one too, we have wicks up and downwards. So that means that this is still volatile. It just goes up and downwards and ranging. So even if we see up or down trends next week, it might still be volatile. So I would wait until the Kumo, either Senko span B or A, goes up, and also Kijun Sen points upwards, and look for the buy chance then. So that's the pound dollar. And moving on to pound JPY, this is more of the bullish side because the Kumo Senko span A is up, and also Kijun Sen flat, but Tenkan Sen up right now. Chikou span above the candles, so this is bullish. And looks like the market was supported by the Tenkan Sen last week with this doji candlestick. So I would wait for the breakout of the previous doji high at this 150.83, and once it happens, then I will look for the buy chance in lower time frames and expect the market breaks the previous high at this 153.45 level upwards this way continuously. But once it breaks the Tenkan Sen, then I won't look for the buy chance anymore. So that's the weekly chart on pound JPY. And let's see, pound Aussie, this is flat the whole time. It's flat, just ranging, goes up and down, and too many wicks up and downwards, so this is spiky and no trace. And pound CAD, this is also flat ranging. Exactly, the price is in the Kumo here, so this is not the good timing to look for an entry chance. And pound Swiss franc, this is more of the bullish side. We have the Kumo Senko span A is up, Kijun Sen flat, but the Tenkan Sen is up right now, and Chikou span above the candles. So this is more of the bullish side. However, if you look at the daily chart on this one, last week the market landed within the forecast lines. So these two yellow lines are forecast lines, and the market landed within the forecast lines on the 13th of April last week. So it might continue to be range. It might continue to be in the range for a couple more days, but because the weekly chart shows uptrending still, uptrend momentum here, so in a daily chart, it might gradually goes up this way. It might gradually goes up this way, and at the Kijun-sen breakout, and if it continues to go up this way, it might consolidate, but it might goes up this way, and once it breaks the previous high level at this 1.3075 area, then that will make the Kumo up and Kijun-sen up, and I will for sure look for the buy chance. But even before the breakout happens, if the Kumo goes up, Kijun-sen up, on these lower time frames, then I will still look for the buy chance, or I might see some uptrend in forward chart. In that case, I will just take the forward chart to follow a trend. So I'm looking for the buy chance on this one still. But now this is ranging, so as long as the price is within the Kumo, I would stay away. So let's move on to the Aussie pairs. So AUD USD. This is towards the flat side because the Kumo is flat, Senko span B flat, A flat, Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen, everything flat here. So this is ranging backwards, but the Chikou span is still above the candles, so this is bullish still. So the market might go up afterwards still. But once the market breaks the previous support level at this 0.7560 area, and also especially if the market breaks the Kijun-sen, then you know that this is the head and shoulders. You might observe the head and shoulders, and the market might go backwards to the Kumo, and Chikou span will be touching breaks the candles, and we might see Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen dead cross by then. And then for sure I won't look for the buy chance, but still right now I still see some bullishness. So until it breaks the Kijun-sen, I continue to look for buy chance, is my view. So like I mentioned yesterday on yesterday's live stream, we never know if this is going to be a head and shoulders until we confirm it. And when you confirm the head and shoulders is when you find the breakout of the neckline, which is at this level, 0.7560. Until we see this, the market might be trending up, or it might have a double top over here and it might go downwards too. If the bullish momentum is too weak, it might become double top, or it might still be in a range for a couple more days or weeks like this. So we'll see which one of these patterns happen, but one thing for sure in this case is that if the market breaks the Kijun-sen neckline, then for sure I won't look for the buy chance anymore, but rather I will continue to look for the sell chance in lower time frames. So let's go to Aussie CAD, and this is also the weekly chart. This is also more the flat side because the Kumo Senko span A is flat, B is up, but the A is flat and the Kumo itself is squeezing right now. So this is showing that this is the uptrend on the long term is getting weaker and weaker. And also the price once broke the Kijun-sen downwards, and now somehow it's above the Kijun-sen, but still this is deep retracement, and this looks to be still in the range. And the Chikou span is above the candles, but this is a bit too close with the candles, so this is more of the range side. So there is no trend, and the market might go up and down, and we don't know which way it's going as per weekly chart. So let's go to the next one, Aussie JPY. Aussie JPY looks to be more bullish side because the Kumo is bullish. We have the Senko span A is up, but B is flat. Kijun Sen flat, but the Tenkan Sen is up right now. And Chikou span above the candles, and we have some distance in between the Chikou span and the candles. So this is bullish. The market has been supported by the Tenkan Sen once and twice. Still last week, this is still support, so we can still expect the market breaks upwards this way. I can find that there is a resistance at this level on these for the last 3 or 4 candles. It's been resisted at this 84.48 level. Let me check the daily chart and see how it's playing out. Yeah, so this is the this is a bit overshoot, but if you consider this as a resistance, there is 1 and twice, 3 times and 4 times of resistance now. But one thing to note is that the lows are getting higher and higher. So this is a type of ascending P wave structure. This is the type of the ascending triangle. So I still expect the market breaks upwards this way. You can extend the trend line all the way to the previous resistance like this, and this, to me, this is still bullish. In this case, I expect the market breaks upwards still because I can see more buyers than sellers in the market. So the market might retest this trend line, and if it's supported by the trend line, and there is more higher probability for the market to break upwards this way. So AUD-JPY is interesting pair because we see this ascending P wave pattern so many times, and P wave appears many times on this AUD-JPY from this year. So this is also one of my favorite setup on this particular pair. So let's see how it plays out next week. So let's move on to Aussie Swiss franc. This is this one also the uptrend side. The Kumo Senko span B is up, A is up. Kijun Sen flat at the moment, but the Tenkan Sen is up, and it looks like the market has been supported by the Tenkan Sen on the weekly chart as well as the AUD-JPY. So it can still go up like this way. The Chikou span above the candles, and this has a nice distance in between Chikou span and Kijun Sen, Chikou span and the candles. So this is a strong and stable bullish trend to me. So in this case, if you see the daily chart, you can draw the descending trend line like this way. And once it breaks, it can be continuous uptrend. It might retest the trend line and it can go upwards too, because weekly chart still shows uptrending. So we can expect this scenario to come. But once the market breaks the Senko span B on the Kumo here, I won't look for any buy chance anymore. So yeah, so that's the AUD-CHF, Aussie Swiss franc. So let's move on to the CAD pairs, CAD-JPY on the weekly chart. Yes, I will review gold soon. Yeah, I will cover gold soon after this Forex forecast. So yeah, so here is the CAD-JPY weekly chart. This is also bullish momentum because the Kumo is up, still it's gaining thickness, it's bullish. Kijun Sen flat, but the Tenkan Sen is up still, and Chikou span above the candles. So this is still bullish. The price has been supported by the Tenkan Sen here. So there's a good chance that the market will be bounced off of this Tenkan Sen and goes up this way continuously. So that's the CAD-JPY. So let's move on to CAD Swiss franc. CAD Swiss franc weekly chart, this is more of the bullish trend. Still, we had the 2 weeks of retracement backwards, but still the Kumo shows uptrending, and Kumo is gaining thickness. Still, this is a bit too thin Kumo, but I can see the Senko span A is away from Senko span B, So it's gaining thickness. In the long term, this is still bullish. And the Kijun Sen flat, but the Tenkan Sen is upwards. And you can also see that the market has been supported by the Tenkan Sen. So it can reach backwards to Tenkan Sen and goes upwards this way continuously. We have a nice distance to Chikou span also. So this is still a bullish trend. But if the market breaks the Tenkan Sen, then you don't want to look for the buy chance anymore. It might retrace backwards to Kijun Sen if it happens. So that's the CAD Swiss franc. So let's move on to Swiss franc and JPY. So Swiss franc JPY is more of the flat side because the Kumo flat, Senkou span B flat, A flat, Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen, everything flat. Chikou span above the candles, because these are flat side, this is still ranging. So when you see Kumo, Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen, everything flat, the market might be reacted by the previous high or low. In this case, it can be reacted by the previous resistance level at this 118.81, and it might retrace backwards to Tenkan Sen or Kijun Sen. So to make the long story short, this is still ranging. So I would prefer to wait for the breakout and look for the buy chance next week. One thing though is that there is a nice doji candlestick breakout. So there was a previous doji candlestick on this on the week of 22nd of March. There was a nice doji candlestick like this, and the market broke. Well, this is like a double confirmation. Doji candlestick engulfing pattern, and also there was a breakout last week. Oh, sorry, last week was a breakout. So although we had the bearish candlestick last week, it can still go up this way on this confirmation too. However, because this is the Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, the market might be resisted here. So to be safer, I just wait for the price break. I mean, it might retest at the resistance level and goes backwards and break out too. So we'll see how it plays out next week. Yeah, so let's go to the commodity now. Let's check the gold and see what's happening. So gold on the weekly chart, this is ranging right now. The Kumo flat and Kijun Sen flat, and Kijun Sen is into the Kumo here, so this is ranging. Chikou span is below the candles, but this is retracing backwards and getting closer to the candles, so this is not the stable downtrend anymore. So the price is now retracing backwards and going into the Kumo here. So in this case, I look at the daily chart. And in terms of the daily chart, this is now retracing backwards and looks like we had the double bottom. So now in this example, we can confirm the double bottom because the market broke the neckline. The market broke the neckline of this 1754.38, and now it's breaking through into the Kumo here. So once we find the Kumo breakout next week or next week, that will be a buy chance. But until it happens, the market might still consolidate for a while. It might be resisted by the Senkou span B and goes backwards too. Or it might break the Kumo downwards and upwards like this. So I would say that this is not a stable uptrend yet. The Kumo is not twisted yet either. The Kumo is still bearish, not twisted, so this is still the sign of the range. It might retrace backwards anytime soon. So I would wait until the Kumo breakout on the daily chart and look for the buy chance. And let's go to the crude oil on the weekly chart. So this one is now flat because the Kumo Senkou span A flat, B flat, Kijun Sen flat right now. And the Chikou span is above the candles, But one thing is kind of doubtful is that the market is below that Tenkan-sen here. The market is below the Tenkan-sen, and last week somehow it landed above the Tenkan-sen. But because we had the wicks pointing up and downwards for the last 4 weeks, it might retrace backwards. It might become downtrend and uptrend, and it might still consolidate in the range. So yeah, in this case, until I find the Senko span B up or A up and Kijun-sen up this way, until this happens, I will just wait. I just wait for this. Okay, so let's move on to the indexes. Indexes weekly chart analysis on the Nikkei here. This is now flat side. This is the Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat. So this is flat, but the Tenkan-sen, if you look at the price above the Tenkan-sen, this is too bullish. The price has been supported by the Tenkan-sen a couple of times in the past. So as long as it's above the Tenkan-sen, it can break upwards this way. Chikou span above the candles. So this is another good confirmation for the bullish trend. But once the market breaks the Tenkan-sen, then it might go backwards to Kijun-sen. So I think that's a point for next week on this Nikkei weekly time frame. So let's move on to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones still be a stable uptrend. Ichimoku shows everything's up. Kumo's up, Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen up, and Chikou span above the candles, so this is still bullish trend. So we can follow the uptrend as long as it persists. Nasdaq is now above, now uptrending now, because the Kumo is up, Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen points upwards because of the breakout, and the Chikou span above the candles too. So it might retest the resistance and go up this way is the view. So we'll see if it plays out or not. And S&P 500 is more stable uptrend because once again Kumo, Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen, everything up, and Chikou span above the candles too on the weekly chart. So this is still a stable bullish trend. So among these are 3 US indexes. I see Dow Jones is stable uptrending, and also S&P also uptrending. But Nasdaq is just broke the previous high, but this might become fake and it might retrace backwards. So I would prefer to follow Dow Jones and S&P trend than Nasdaq. So let's go to Euro stocks. So Euro stocks is also stable uptrending. No doubt this is uptrending because the Kumo's up, Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen also points up nicely, and the Chikou span above the candles. And last week there was a doji candlestick breakout. Doji breakout is my favorite setup because once it breaks, it can go up continuously, and it's been a pattern on this Euro stocks actually. We see these are 3 times of doji breakouts, so this is another nice confirmation for the continuous uptrend. And this is all-time high, so this is still persisting uptrending right now. So let's move on to the FTSE 100 in UK. The Kumo's up, Senko span A is up, and Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen up, Chikou span above the candles. So finally last week it became a bullish trend. So it broke the previous high at this 69-67 level, and now this is bullish. But just like the Nasdaq here, it might become fake, and it might retest the resistance and it goes upwards next week. So just watch out for the retest next week on this one too. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. I will cover these comments after I screen all these pairs and also news. But for now, let me just focus on the charts on my watch list. So let's continue to cover the indexes. So CAC front is now a stable uptrend. Kumo's up, Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen's up, and Chikou span above the candles. And there is another doji candlestick breakout last week too. And also after this resistance line breakout, this 66117 level. Now last week it broke the doji candlestick of this 6189 point level. So this is a stable and strong uptrend. So as long as it's above the Tenkan-sen, the market can move upwards on this N wave like this way. So let's move on to the Nifty chart. Nifty index is now retracing backwards, and now this is flatness. This is the Kumo Senko span B flat, A flat, Kijun-sen flat. And Chikou span is coming backwards to the candles, so this is now consolidating and ranging. And last week, like I mentioned last week, the market becomes below the Tenkan-sen. So in this condition, it can go downwards continuously, gradually goes down or range. And I don't see a strong sign of the uptrend. So in this condition, I cannot look for buy chance. Last week was this a pin bar and long wick pointing downwards. So this might be support and it might go upwards this way. So if I look at the daily chart and look into this pin bar here, so there was a pin bar like this. So last 5 candles were the weekly candles. So this area was basically the forming the pin bar. So I think yeah, this is engulfing. If you look at the previous 4 days on the daily chart, this is engulfing pattern. So once it breaks, in the daily basis, once it breaks this level, 14659 level, and then it can break up and goes up towards the previous, the upper trend line. So whether the market breaks 14659 is a key for next week. Otherwise, it can go down still continuously. So let's move on to Hansen index. Hansen is ranging on the daily chart. On the weekly chart, this is also ranging now. Last week was uptrending still as per Ichimoku, but now it's flat. Flat Kumo, flat Kijun-sen, Chikou span retracing backwards to the candles. So this is ranging now. And let's check the AU200. This is a nice uptrend now. This is a nice uptrend because the Kumo's up and this is very thick and long. This is a nice uptrend confirmation. And also Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen points upwards. Chikou span above the candles and this is still away from the candles. So this is a stable uptrend. And the market could reach all the way backwards to the previous high from the week of 17th of February last year. So it can reach all the way up to 7205 level. So that's the weekly analysis on this AU200. And finally, let me cover the DAX index. So DAX index also continuously showing uptrending because the Kumo Senko span BA, both ones are uptrending, and the Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen also uptrending. Chikou span is away from the candles. And there is another doji candlestick breakout last week. So this is also a sign of the continuous uptrend. Whenever you see doji candlestick break, this is a nice setup for its continuous trend direction. So yeah, this is bullish. So as long as it persists, you can keep following the uptrend on this one. Okay, so now I've covered all these indexes. So let's review what kind of news we have next week. So I just pulled the calendar. This is fxstreet.com. This is my favorite website to check the news here. So next week, let me scroll. So yeah, next week starts from 19 and until the 23rd of Friday. So let's see, next Monday there is no big news. Next Tuesday we have AUD news, and also pound can be affected by this news, and also bank lending survey and ECB. This is very important. So next Tuesday, watch out on the euro pairs. And moving on to technically on Wednesday morning Asian time, this is New Zealand CPI report, and also retail sales in the AUD. And pound CPI also, so you have to watch out pound on next Wednesday. And let's see what else you can find. There is Governor Bailey's speech here on pound, so it can be affected by the pound pairs. And Canadian dollars is also important. We have a couple of reports in Canada, CPI, and also a rate statement. So Canadian dollars can be affected next Wednesday. So let's see. On Thursday, 22nd next week, we have interest rate decision and ECB. So euro can be affected by that. And also, of course, monetary policy meeting will be there in the euro. So next Thursday, watch out on the euro pair. And Friday, we have a couple of news here too. In Friday, euro, we have a PMI report, and also in pound, also PMI. So next week, we have lots of news. So every time you take trades, before taking trades, make sure to watch out the news. And if you have no positions, then always come back after the news is the key. Because news can wipe off all these technical analysis. So no matter how strong you find the uptrend like this in the market, if the negative news happens, then it can shoot down. It can shoot the Tenkan-sen, and sometimes it can shoot the Kijun-sen downwards too, and it can change the whole trend. So technical analysis is effective to look for the market as of now, but always make sure to watch out the news is also important, especially before taking trades. Next week, we have to watch out the news. So, okay, so that covers the whole topics. So let me come back to some of the comments here. And once again, thank you for joining everyone. And if you liked it so far, please press the good button before you leave. And please subscribe and click the bell button so that you get notified as I do these videos and lives every day in different topics. So yeah, but looks like the market has been ranging on these forex pairs. Indexes are nice. Indexes are trending up right now, but forex pairs are ranging. So as myself as a forex trader, this is not really actively taking trades. Okay, so let me come back to some comments here. Thank you for joining everyone. Great to see you here. Great to see you. Okay, I see one comment, euro dollar H4 and daily chart analysis. Alright, so let's check the euro data here. So euro data, once again on the weekly chart, this is flat. It's flat, Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat, Chikou span too close with the candles, and the price is exactly on the Kijun-sen. So on the weekly basis, we're not sure whether it goes up and down. And with that in mind, you look at the lower time frame. So you look at the daily chart, and in the daily chart, this is also retracing backwards. It's retracing backwards, and the price is at the resistance level of this 1.1988 level. So we can retrace backwards. However, we have the Tenkan Kijun Gold Cross and Chikou span about to be broken. So if the market goes into the Kumo, then that will make the Chikou span break. And then once the market breaks the Kumo upwards like this way, then that will become a Sanyaku Koten signal, and we might see the stable uptrend afterwards. So until that we have the Kumo breakout, we better wait. We better not to take trades, because it might retrace backwards anytime soon still. And also, let's see, if you look at the 4-hour chart, in 4 this is up bullish. The price above the Tenkan Kijun Kumo here, so this is still bullish. But once the market breaks the neckline at this 1.1950 area, then this might become a downtrend. So as long as above the line, then it can still go up, breaks the previous high. And in terms of the 1-hour chart, this is ranging. In 1 hour it's ranging. We have lots of wicks up and downwards in ranging spiky market. So it can go up and down, and we're not sure. So in this case, I will follow the 4-hour chart. I will keep my eye on the 4-hour chart next week, and once it breaks, I follow the uptrend in 4-hour chart. And expect the market breaks the Kumo in the daily chart, is my view. So this is multiple time frames with Ichimoku, which I usually do. As per original teaching of the original books, there is no multiple time frame analysis. So this is my original. So yeah, hopefully you can learn from this analysis. I mean, if you're not familiar with the multiple time frames, then always check the daily chart first and follow the daily chart, because originally Ichimoku was created by the daily chart, so it's reasonable to take daily chart to practice. And as you get used to it, you can start to look at multiple time frames by Ichimoku like this. Okay, let's see. Guna1 says, is it gold? 4-hour chart is V wave and now 5 candles to 9 candlesticks. Let's check the gold in 4-hour chart. So this is still in the N wave. This is still in the middle of the N wave, and this looks to be bullish in the 4-hour chart. And for the recent 3 candles, there is an engulfing pattern here. So once it breaks the high at this 1784, it can still continuously uptrend this way. Because last time also there was an engulfing candlestick breakout, and that was a nice confirmation for buy. So once it happens one more time, then I think that will also a great buy chance too. I will look at the lower time frames and confirm the buying edge. Okay, thank you for joining everyone. Good to see you here. Let's see. Onker says, I have been watching your videos, but you have stopped talking about the Nifty nowadays. Yeah, because Nifty is ranging, retracing backwards, so I don't simply talk about it right now. Yeah. Yeah, Nifty is just going backwards, so there's nothing to talk. It's retracing backwards now. But like I mentioned on the weekly, in the weekly analysis on Sundays, I mentioned about the Nifty also, and yeah, it's there's engulfing. So if it breaks the recent resistance at this 14,659 level, then it can go up to the opposite side of the channel, like this way. Okay, thank you for joining everyone once again. Good to see you again. And Kayon, thank you for joining this time today. Last month very busy, okay. Yeah, happy Sunday. Yeah, I'm back in Tokyo now from Dubai. So I'm planning to move to Dubai in this June. May or June. So yeah, it's still as planned. Okay, thank you for joining everyone. Good to see you here. Let's see. Yeah, Bank Nifty. I don't really talk about Bank Nifty because I only talk about indexes. I don't really talk about the stock markets. So if you have a request about the stock market, please remind me next week when I do the live stream. Then I can talk about it. But in terms of these weekly analysis, I prefer to focus on the indexes and also forex pairs and commodity gold and US oil. Let's see. Kayon says, Mr. K, I give new idea about the cryptocurrency. This is good investment, no risk. Binance. Yeah, for me, I don't trade cryptocurrency, but I can have a look at it. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin in the daily chart. Or the weekly chart we have to look at. So as per weekly chart, this is still bullish. Looks like it's bullish still. The Kumo's up, Senko span B's up, A's up, and Kumo's gaining its thickness. So this is a stable uptrend in the long term. And in the midterm, Kijun Sen is pointing upwards, and the Tenkan Sen is also pointing upwards this way. Chikou span above the candles too, so this is a nice and stable uptrend. And let's see, on the daily chart, this is now retracing backwards. The market is below the Kijun Sen, so this is now back into the range. There's no uptrend anymore. Looks like the market broke the previous support level, and looks like it's bearish now in the short term. Tenkan Sen shows downtrending, so in the short term this is downtrending. But overall structure is still uptrending because we can still expect the market goes up on the N wave like this way. So in this condition, if the market breaks the previous support at this 50,249, then this might become downtrend seriously. But as long as it goes up, it's above, as long as the market is above the support line, then it can still goes up this way. Chikou span looks to be tracing the past candlestick patterns. So this is called a Chikou span synchronization. sometimes you see Chikou span exactly traces the past charts. So the market goes downwards because the past price were bearish. But here we have the bullish trend from the 26th of March. It turned to bullish. So if the Chikou span traces continuously, then next day or next day, it can turn bullish trend like this way. So you can also use this Chikou span synchronization and expect the market direction this way. So we'll see on that one. Okay, so looks like that covered the whole structures market. So I will be ending the live session for now in about 5 minutes. So yeah, myself is a Forex trader and I'm a full-time Forex trader. So basically, when the market's ranging like this, simply I invest time and money myself. I don't invest the money into these Forex pairs or any markets, but I prefer to take time and invest money for myself. So yeah, after coming back to Japan, I need to work out. So I take more time for working out at home, and also yeah, I have I'm actually trying this FT5. If you've seen the news recently, there's a new Forex Tester 5 is released now. So I'm playing around with this Forex Tester 5 and looking into the new features. So that's what I'm doing right now. Basically every day I run this Forex Tester 5 and backtest my strategy, and also refine and fine-tune my trade strategies so that I can get ready to take trades when the next huge trend comes on the daily chart or the forward chart. Let's see. Make It Nice says, hello K, is there another letters you like to spot besides N-wave or candlestick patterns you look out? I would like to check out those videos if you have some. I focus on the N-waves. I focus on the N-waves because as Goichi Hosoda says, all the market basically falls into the N-waves. So I look for the letter N. I don't look for V or I, but I look for the letter N and capture the market direction and trends. So yeah, like so for example on the Euro USD monthly chart, let's see. So this is now on the N wave, because this is uptrending on the N wave like this. The market is higher lows and higher highs, so this is still bullish and it can go up like this because this is on N waves. So I expect the market breaks upwards this way. So yeah, basically I look for the letter N. Yeah, Suresh, you're welcome, and Karim, you're welcome too. So I guess I will be ending the live stream for now. So hopefully you have a great weekend, the rest of the weekend, and have a nice trading week next week. So once again, we have lots of big news next week. So always make sure to watch out the news before you take trades. It's a key for next week. Okay, so thank you for watching until the end and your participation. So I will see you on the next video on the live stream. So until I see you next time, please stay healthy and stay gold. Bye for now everyone. Mata ne. Thank you.